Hi, this is Leroy Nail with the Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization, and we're going to go live this afternoon on Facebook. We don't do a whole lot of live videos, but we're down in southern Indiana at Clark State Forest, and we're with the Squatchman, our buddy.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
And,
Ernie
Ernie
Packman Paranormal.
Packman Paranormal, right?
Yes, sir.
Had one of the most wildest experiences last year. I think it was last year or 2 years ago.
3 years ago now on Memorial Day, wasn't it?
That you had.
Yeah, it was the night we were all together.
Oh, yeah.
We was together.
Yeah, that's
Was
right.
that last year?
I think it was
Last year,
Yeah,
Yeah,
last
that's
year.
the one he's talking about.
It was one of the wildest nights, one of the wildest experiences that I've yet to be able to explain. And it was with both these guys down here. We always have a good time anytime we're down here with Greg and we get a chance to go out with Greg. And he's just showing some of the stuff that he has right here. So we want to share some of that and talk to these guys about what's been going on.
Yeah. Well, exactly what you just said. When I went out with Ernie, which is on the cutting edge of paranormal investigation. He was the lead man and investigator at Waverly Hills Hospital. All the famous haunted place in the world. He led investigations there, and he picked up a lot of knowledge there about the apparent suicide of the nurse named Sarah, but he found out the real truth over that with dedicated investigation month after month after year till he finally got the answers that him and his wife Denise seeked. And this is what kind of man this is. So we got together to see what kind of connection there was with the Bigfoot forest people, which I call, and the paranormal, because I know there's a lot more to them than just being a flesh and blood ape. So we started working together, and we have made giant leaps with our criteria that we have put together, which some includes paranormal equipment that he has today that we're going to use later. And we have actually found ways to communicate with them through the spirit box. It's all about energy. Like I always say, it's all about energy with the forest people. And they can speak to the spirit box and answer our questions. And we have found a lot of information by doing this. And one of them, a couple questions where we asked, what planet are you from? 3 different times. We had Earth. Every time, Earth. That was something
clear.
clear.
That was the thing.
How clear it was.
They used the spirit box. Now, I've never seen this done before. I've never done ghost hunting. I grew up in a haunted house. I really don't want anything to do with it. I stay away from that. But they come in that night. I had never met you. This is the first time I've really daylight that we have really talked. Because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning when you come
just
in.
Seeing each other by the firelight.
Yeah, by the firelight. And never seen this guy before, but you come in with that equipment. And if it was in fact that we was talking to the forest people, that was the most interesting. We got some really interesting information. Great stuff. That they not only communicate here, but they communicate with forest people from all over. If they know you here, they know you in northern Indiana. They know you in northern Kentucky. They spread.
Know you in Washington State.
Yeah, they know you everywhere because they all communicate. So it's a very strange, some of the things that was being said that night that was so clear, and that's the question I just asked you is it normally that clear?
It's really not. And that, I told you that I feel like all those energies are connected and they share a lot of the same, properties or whatever and abilities. But that night, that being so clear and us doing as much ghost investigation as we've done with spirit communication, it's not typically that clear. So I feel like that must have been something different than what we typically encounter. Was it the forest people? I personally think it was, because this man has that relationship.
He has that
anybody
relationship.
that spends time in the woods with this guy, he's got a relationship.
He has a relationship
and they will
with him.
come out and perform
Yeah,
for
they'll
lack
come-
of a better way to put it.
Yeah, he brings them, Greg brings them right in.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people come down here and spend time with him, because he brings them in and has some unbelievable experiences. And learns a lot.
Yeah, it
And
really
that
is.
night, it left me just dumbfounded. I'll be honest with you. I just totally dumbfounded on it. I was lost. I honestly didn't know what to think. I still don't know what to think about it. But like I said to you right off, is how clear and precise all the answers
And
was.
it wasn't like hesitation. It wasn't
There
like
was
we'd
no-
ask a question and wait 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
It was like you asked, they answered.
Boom.
It was like, who is this? Greg.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're going,
What's his name?
Yeah.
Leroy.
yeah. And it was just
They
plain
knew.
day like that. And it was like, whoa, what's actually going on here? So,
Yeah, and this is only another step that we moved up on doing this. The first step, Denise, right over here, Denise Pack, Ernie's wife, well, she actually started it the night all the trees got pushed over. She set a flashlight down there on the tree that was over the road that they pushed over. That they actually pushed a tree out of the ground. And I ain't gonna tell the whole story, you don't have time, but they pushed 6 trees over, and we seen the 7th one being pushed over. Actually seen a Bigfoot in a tree, violently shaking it, a 2 foot wide Indiana red oak. And it got caught in another red oak on the other side of the road, and he came back to finish the job, and that's what we seen. He was 20 feet up in that tree, and he broke that tree over, and the one that was hanging in it fell across the road. So anyway, like that wasn't enough, but we seen 5 Bigfoots over there that did it.
Right there in the lightning flash.
Right there in the lightning strike.
Wow.
I'm going
huge.
to add something in here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to add something in here because this is the truth. Greg takes me over, and I've heard that story a few times. He took me over the day that you had showed up that evening, and he was showing us these trees. I'm honestly standing there going, what's Greg on this time? There's no way that this tree got pushed over. A Bigfoot pushed this tree over. I mean, I'm honestly totally skeptical. And like I said before, I have never met you.
Right.
I had never seen you before. You show up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Greg's standing over by the fire. He's not even around us. And you tell the identical story.
It's
You
easy
ver-
to tell it because
you
it's
tell-
true.
Yeah.
You tell the
It
identical
really happened.
story. So Jerry and I both are looking at each other going, either there is a total truth to that, or they got their shit
We got a
together.
script that we're
Yeah,
sitting there
that you
going
got a
over.
script that you got down so packed because you told the identical story that Greg did, and it validated.
It's very compelling.
Yeah,
You could,
validated
and you
his
could
story.
ask Denise, she would tell you the same story. You could ask,
My daughter Cora was
yeah,
there.
Cora, she
You
could
know,
tell you the same story.
But to go look at it and
Think
listen to you,
there's
it's like,
no way.
It's
There's
like,
no way.
I know you, Greg. I know what you're saying. But to be honest with you, but I'm standing there going, no, there's no.
Imagine the disbelief that you feel when you're witnessing, when you're standing there as close as we are to that tree right now, and you see this thing up in the tree, shaking it until it breaks and the other tree falls, then it jumps down and runs off. You know, we're just like,
And the funny thing about it, the first thing I said, I looked at Ernie, man, I'm like, man, I cannot believe this. He's like, why not? He goes, you asked for it.
yeah.
So I asked for it.
Greg said when we first got there, you know, Greg, if you remember, Greg was going to be moving to Washington State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that he was thinking that might be his last night in the forest, in this forest. And he said, you know how Greg will do? He went out
Oh, yeah.
there. He said, my friends, I want you to show us your power. Do something epic. This might be my last chance to witness your power.
Within
Show me what you
seconds.
can do.
Within seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were all around us. They weren't in just one place. They were
And they
just
were at a
all
safe
around us.
distance. It was
Yeah.
nothing that we had to worry about getting
No, no,
injured.
we,
It was
no,
at
we
a
wasn't
safe
scared.
distance.
We didn't feel
Or a safe
threatened.
distance.
And it was like a bomb going off. All them trees cracking. I mean, it sounded like a bomb went
skeptic
off.
of everything.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. I'm skeptic.
Hey, if it didn't happen to me, I'd be skeptic, man.
So yeah, I'm totally skeptical. But that was the thing that blew me away right off that night. Is when you come in and we're standing over the side and you go, man, last year I was with Greg and you started telling that story and you're standing way over here. You're not even by us, and I'm like going, holy.
Maybe it did happen.
Yeah, I'm like, holy shit, they've either got this story down to a pat or this really truly happened.
Yeah, it really happened, just like all my other stories, 100% truthful. Me, Ernie, Denise, all of us would go on any lie detector test, including the FBI, to verify that we're telling the truth. Because it happened.
So I'm bringing that up for a reason, is because of that. There's people out there that has probably heard that story just like I have. That question it.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
But you, to me, verified by backing that same story up. So it's like I'm like going. And then the night we had after that.
Right after.
You know, from talking to Greg, a lot of the activity that you get out here is directly relative to the energy you bring to the forest.
Mm-hmm. That's the same with ghost hunting.
And it's the same with ghost hunting, anything in the paranormal, cryptids, paranormal, whatever. You bring a positive, because they're energy beings. Spirits are. I believe that the Bigfoot is. I believe a lot of this stuff that we seek is got to do with energy.
Yeah.
So you bring a good positive energy, you're going to stand a lot better chance of getting good results. You know, there are people that go out there, they just go in purely as skeptics. They're not going to believe anything, and no matter what. I mean, Bigfoot could come up and slap them in the face, and they'd be like, it was the wind.
That's exactly what I told
or whatever.
And, like I was saying about that story with the tree anyway, Denise put a flashlight down, the kind you can screw and it comes on real easy. That's how they get a ghost to turn it on, and they question and answer. One for yes, two for no, like that. So, yeah.
I just stole Greg's dream.
So she put it down there, and we're back there, and this is right after this happened. And one of my forest friends out here is Big Red. He's a huge 10 to 12 footer with big red brilliant eyes. And people to say, oh, they're mean and evil if they got red eyes, that's hogwash. This guy's the friendliest man in the forest. Plus he's the biggest, baddest man in the forest. And if you respect him, he'll give you what you seek. And I've met him, his wife, and 3 children. And they all got red eyes, the Big Red family. But then anyway, Denise asked, she goes, Big Red, did you push these trees over? I'll let her tell you, she's the one that did it.
He was turning the flashlight on and off, answering those questions as I was asking, just like the spirits do when we do the spirit communication.
And a lot of people will try to debunk or talk down about flashlight communication because, you set those little mag lights where they're just barely off, they'll randomly come on and off.
All right, and that one guy that thought you had a remote control on it, remember?
I had a guy that thought I had some kind of remote.
I mean, when you're
when they're doing it on command, that's different. When they're not just flickering on and off randomly.
Right.
When they come on and you say, okay, you can turn it off now, and it goes off immediately. Turn it back on, and it comes back on immediately. I mean, that's not some heat cycle in the coil of the flashlight.
Yeah, and she asked, this is after we've seen the 5 of them, a lightning flash, 5 of them standing between 2 trees, 30 feet apart, shoulder to shoulder to shoulder.
And no more than 30 feet from us, really.
So she asked, and she goes, did you and your friends,
It was awesome.
did you have any friends help you? Came back on, yes. And she goes, how many friends? Was it 5? Because that's what we seen, 5. And what did it say?
5.
5, yeah. I just said, it flashed once, meaning yes. And this was all in one night. So anyway, the bottom line is when you're as good as we are, people are skeptics. People doubt you. People don't believe you. But the God's honest truth, everything I say and speak is 100% real. And I got plenty of people that will tell you the same. So you know, people are jelly of me, jelly of us, jelly of this group, because we get a lot of stuff, man. And this is a little something I'm going to show you that's happened right out here in this forest. And this is one of my best Bigfoot pictures I got. And yeah, if you get a good shot of that, I mean, I don't need to draw a circle, I don't need to point it. I mean, if you can't see that, you need glasses. But you can see eye sockets, nose and ear.
Massive.
You can see the head, you know, the hairline there on his forehead, you know, which happens to be a Cro-Magnon type head. And look at the size of that arm. You know, there's the bow in his elbow. You know, looking at it, you know, on the forearm side of it. You look how massive and long that is. Okay, that's one of the few. I got some good pictures out here. But this right here, you know, a lot of Bigfoot people find a hair, and they get all right open a hair. Like, yeah, this could be a Bigfoot hair. Well, I'll show you what a Bigfoot hair looks like, and you won't have problems seeing it. You know, don't worry. I'm not worried about having this DNA tested. Yeah, I could care less. But I know what it is. It was by a Bigfoot structure, by the long, silky hair of it. I mean, just look at that. Look at that long, beautiful hair. It's so beautiful and silky. This is not fur. This is no kind of something off an animal. This is hair. I mean, I even got the backside of it. And this is another big piece, which is like another color, like almost gray and black, you know, a mixture of both. And it was found together. It was very, very stinky. I have dried it out over the years, and I keep it in a sealed bag here. And then Denise and Ernie, they had friends come up here that took a sample to have it tested. And I want Denise to tell you what the findings of it was.
They were inconclusive. They could not find any matching known animal of any kind to the hair that we took from that. So.
And again, you know, it's not fur, it's hair.
Yeah, they confirmed that it was, you know, biological. It was hair.
Yeah, it was hair.
But they didn't. It didn't match any known DNA profiles of any known animals.
Any known animal.
That's really interesting. And just so you know, we went live. This was not planned whatsoever.
No.
This was a spur of the moment. You guys just happened to pull up. Yeah. I was thinking about going live before you pulled up. Was getting ready to ask Greg if he wanted to go live. You pulled up, and then I just kind of went, well, let's just go ahead and go for this. So none of this was planned. This is just what's here.
I'll send you a bill for my appearance fee.
Oh shit.
But yeah.
So, I just wanted to say that so that people know if they come down, this is some of what they experience.
Some of the stuff we find down here.
Some of the stuff that we find, it's some of the stuff that goes on while we have outings. When you have an outing like this, or whether the IBRO is having an outing, this is kind of what goes on during. You know, this is where you get your real information. What you find out on the internet ain't nothing.
Yeah, I heard a Bigfoot conference, you pay $50, $60 to go see. You're not going to find the truth there. The truth is out here. You got to go look, and you got to find it. You got to take your own personal journey. Don't take anybody's word on it. You know, we're just here to help people along.
I thought you were going to say we're just hillbillies.
That's what I thought.
Well, that
goes without saying.
I'm a hill jack. I'm telling you that right now. I'm just a pure hill jack.
But you know, there's a big debate that's been going on. You know, the flesh and blood animal against something that's not a flesh and blood animal, and you know, there's clearly no answers on either side. But what methods work better, ours or beating on trees, call blasting,
setting out traps,
setting out
cameras
traps
everywhere.
Yeah, all them gadgets to never pick up anything.
Those IR cameras, all of those cameras.
Yeah.
I tell people to do that when they want to get rid of them. If they come in around their house and they don't want them around their house, set a camera up. Set a camera up, put a couple lights out. They may very well leave you alone.
Probably won't get one then.
Yeah, then they'll probably go a ways. But if you think you're going to capture one, it's very unlikely that you're going to capture one. So, but I just wanted this to go live for a little bit so people can kind of see what we do here and what Greg does and some of the interesting stuff that we're here talking about. And I appreciate you guys going live with us.
No problem.
You know,
I
and
enjoy it.
get both of your sites tagged into it.
Yeah, that's why I posted this. This is open for everybody, by the way. This is in the select group of people. Anybody in the Indiana Bigfoot group, you could have come on this camp out along with the ones Leroy has. We would love to meet you. We would love to hear your stories. It's just not all about us. I mean, we got this group. Leroy's been doing a great job at it, and he goes around investigating people's sightings and everything like that. And it's a very well organized, smooth running group. There's good people in it, and there's open-minded people. I mean, yeah, sure, there's people in there that believe it's nothing other than a undiscovered ape. But there's also a lot of other people like me that don't believe that. There's a lot more to it.
There's one thing that I have learned over the last 10 years. Don't write nothing off.
Yeah, good Lord. Don't write nothing off.
If someone tells you something and you write it off and go, ain't no way, you're possibly missing
Closing the door on
You're
something.
closing the door on a lot of good stuff. Because when I started out Flesh and Blood, and you go back and forth on the tree knocking and stuff like this. Well, if there's good to that, and then there's bad. The good thing is, if you're looking for areas, you get a response. You know there's one in that area.
Yeah.
You may not want to do that anymore. And once you know that they're in there, you want to go in there and befriend them and start building trust with them, and not necessarily doing tree knocks, not doing that. But it might have worked good to start with to discover, yes, they are in this area.
Exactly. Hey, before you go, I want to get one quick story here. People say they can't disappear, they can't cloak. That's BS. Well, I got a story for you. We was here at the camp. We smelled that skunky squatch smell. I will let this man right here tell you the rest. This is his story. I like telling it, but it's his story that happened to his wife. So go ahead and tell him what happened, Bob.
Well, we were back at the gifting stump and was on the way out, and about halfway back we stopped because Squatchman wanted to tell us a story, and I was with my wife, and Squatchman was in front of us. We was facing him. I was standing beside my wife, and she whispered in my ear. I could feel breathing on the back of my neck, and I reached out and grabbed her hand. I said, "Well, don't panic." She said, "I'm all right. I've heard enough of your stories. I know not to be scared, but I can feel him breathing on the back of my neck." So there was one right there, and yet we could not see him, and he had to be close.
In the smell.
And the smell come in and drifted 3 times on the
Three
smell.
times,
Speaking of that, there's a smell right now. I don't know if y'all are smelling. There's that. You smell it too?
Yeah, I smelled it yesterday too.
I'm smelling it right now. I just kind of picked it up this last while he was talking. Actually.
Yeah, they might come in listening to the stories.
Yeah.
And that, like you were saying, I mean, this is what these campouts are like with Greg. I know I've been out with Greg several times, been out with you once before. But we all just kind of hang out around the campfire and talk most of the time. We'll get out in the woods and do some exploring and investigating, if you will. But most of the time, we're just kind of hanging out, and they seem to like that. They'll come in to us.
They come in, which I hope you come to our outing in October. Come up to Morgan Monroe.
When is it? Because we'll be
14th of October.
We should be in
Awesome.
town. We'll try to make it.
Yeah.
We're always in Salem for Halloween.
Okay.
The Witches Circle.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit north north of Salem.
Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. Wrong state.
Yeah.
And like Ernie was saying though about the energy and enthusiasm, you'll come out, be joyous, have a good time, be yourself, laugh, shout out loud, meet new people, enjoy yourself. That's what they love seeing, and they want to get involved in it, and they join in. They want to have a good time too. We're their entertainment. They love watching us, and so don't overdo it, man. Don't be serious. Relax, man. It will happen.
That's what I tell people. Come sit around fire. The worst case scenario is you sit around the campfire and hear some stories.
Yeah,
That is the worst case scenario.
What?
Yeah.
Is that a bad weekend?
And that's not a bad weekend. That's a bad weekend. But most of the time when we're out, that's all we're doing. We're sitting around a fire, we're talking, we're telling stories, and we're listening to what's going on behind us and watching what's going on behind us, because they may very well come in behind you. You see their eyes shine, you hear them walking through, you may hear a tree knock, you hear different things, all the stuff that everybody's going out to try to look for. We just wait for them to come into us. They're tromping down in the woods, they're just walking around you and looking at you, and what a fool.
They got bug spray.
Yeah, one camping trip where we had a couple years ago right here at this site. There's a picnic table that's back there. Bob and Debbie over here, his daughter, the man that just spoke, he had a bunch of gifts back there, treats and everything for them. And here's the fire. We're all sitting around the fire, at least 15 people. A lot of the Indiana group. This lady over here sleeping, she was here. It was a very epic night. And me and Debbie was over there sitting on them steps right where she's at now, probably 15 feet away from the table. So I keep looking back there, and I seen 3 black silhouettes walk up. They wasn't big giants, they were about 6-footers. Probably younger ones. So they walked right up to the picnic table, and they nice and quietly started ripping them open, getting them. And I guess it's just like males. I want more than you. They got into it, and a big ruckus happened. And then that girl jumped up, man, and took off running and had her grandbaby laying right here. I mean, it happened just like that.
That's the baby.
We're sitting there watching them. I got everybody sitting around here. Everybody's right here watching. And it quieted down. And Bob said, you think we ought to check it? I'm like, yeah, let's check it. We went over there. It was white clean. And how much stuff was back there? We had a smorgasbord. Yeah, I mean, that whole table was full of stuff, man.
Cheese crackers.
Yeah.
That was where, if you remember,
Yeah.
that first time we came up here with the Black Wolf Paranormal, Todd and Leanne Eskew.
Yeah.
We had a dozen assorted donuts. Greg had told us they really liked the raspberry-filled Krispy Kreme. Well, we couldn't find raspberry-filled Krispy Kreme, so we got a box of assorted donuts. It had one raspberry-filled donut in the box. We put it out on the gifting stump back, or on the log back there. We come back about an hour later. The box has one slit in the plastic lid of it, and there's one donut missing. It was the raspberry Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
That was missing.
Yeah, that was
There was a
epic.
thumbprint
Yeah,
in one of the
there
other
was a
ones that was
thumbprint in one of the
filled.
other
So you don't think that was a raccoon that got in there and just
A
got
raccoon will
No.
destroy a box of
Yeah.
donuts sitting out in the woods.
And he
You've
would
seen
have,
that?
he would have ate all
There
of
was
them.
another cream-filled donut in there, and it had like a big thumbprint in it, like something
Like it
tested
stuck
it
its
and
thumb
licked
in it
and was
and
like,
went,
no, that's not
nope.
what I want. And then
Yeah.
the raspberry-filled one.
that. So they're just like kids. They come up and they finger it all and go, I don't want that one.
I don't want that one.
Yeah, and another camp out, man. We were up there at my camp, which is 50 feet away, and Bob came down here. This is his camp, and he wanted to get something, so he shined his light back there. He wanted to see if anything was missing back there, and a big old growl let out. Everybody up there heard it, man. It was a big old growl. And so Bob, he handled it pretty good. He didn't freak out. He went walking back up there, and he's like, oh, I just messed up, Squatch, man. I go, what'd you do? He goes, oh, I turned my white light on and you told me not to, and he growled at me. You didn't like it. So Ernie had his ghost box and we was getting all them answers. So Ernie asked him, he goes, why'd you growl over there? And it said white light.
Yep.
And Ernie goes, well, who had the white light? Bob. yeah, Bob.
It said it like Bob.
Yeah.
Like they were just so disgusted with Bob.
So again, I mean, you know, my unity with the paranormal, you know, joining forces on this, I think it's paying high dividends. We're getting great results, and it is what it is. It's working.
Yeah. I mean, you can't argue with the results. I mean, there's a lot of groups out there that, you know, will basically, you come camp with them and you're going on a hunting expedition. You know, I mean, everybody's in camo and they got their lights and all their cameras and everything set up, and they don't get anything.
Yeah, they don't really get
Come out here and hang out with Greg and just talk, and we have all kinds of things happen.
Yeah, exactly. But I appreciate it if you joined in for a while. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And I really thank you guys for joining us, you know,
Oh, it's been fun, dude.
being down here
Always
with you
enjoy it. Always enjoy it.
and joining this live on here. So thanks a lot. Again, it's Leroy Nail,
All
with
right.
the Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization.
Yeah, I mean, I could sit here and tell you about an hour's worth of what happened last night, but I mean, we can't talk forever. But
Leroy's already ended the video.
Yeah, you got to come here and you got to experience.
I'm afraid it's going to go dead anytime.
Just remember, there's more than cornfield in Indiana.
Exactly. The truth is in Indiana.
Yeah, the
Good
truth.
job, guys. Yeah, we have bean fields too.
Yeah.
Soybeans.
Soybeans.